Well, 2016 is coming to an end. Is Shantae Half-Genie Hero out yet? No. No, it's not. But goddammit, that doesn't mean I can't get excited for it. The Shantae series has become a bit of a cult classic, and it's such a fascinating series when you look at its roots. Once upon a time, the company WayForward was synonymous with developer for hire, developing such titles as WWF Betrayal and Mickey's Ultimate Challenge. Remember those? Remember those? I don't. Achieving critical acclaim, Shantae sold, well, terribly. Some sources cite that less than 25,000 copies were produced in total. Did I mention that the Game Boy Advance came out in 2001? Even though the system was backwards compatible, no one wanted to pay new game price for something that was considered obsolete, now that the Game Boy Advance has been out for about a year. This should have been the end of the story. But clearly someone at WayForward wouldn't let their passion project die, and it goes to show that sales figures and popularity is not the same as making a good game. If anything, its cult-like status can be attributed to WayForward making the game they wanted to make. Fast forward 8 years later and we have the release of Shantae Risky's Revenge for the Nintendo DSi. 8 years later. And it's not because they didn't try sooner. Footage of a Game Boy Advance beta demo can still be found. Even though they wanted it to happen, no publisher was willing to back it after the first failure. Once again being very well received, they moved on to their latest release, which we'll be talking about today, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. With digital distribution becoming more and more prominent, WayForward found their way out of their first flop and are showing no signs of stopping. So many amazing series, both successful and unsuccessful, disappear never to be seen again, but it's clear just how much they believe in their idea. But enough backstory, let's jump into Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. When it comes to Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, it does very little that's new to platformers, but everything it does is done near perfectly. Tight controls, challenging levels, funny and cleverly written dialogue, interesting bosses, that music, Jake Kaufman, you are amazing. And that's just scratching the surface on why I love this game. The story starts out in Scuttletown, which is under attack. Oh boy. Good morning, Scuttletown. The game definitely throws you right into the action, and this invasion serves as a stepping stone to learning the game. Just run right and use your only weapon in your arsenal for now, Shantae's hair. Once you make it through the attack and beat your first boss, you're pretty much left to your own devices. This game doesn't play like a 2D Mario per se, it's a lot more similar to a Simon's Quest or a Metroid. You're free to roam the town, visit other lands, and just go about and kill monsters in the fields. The game certainly isn't as expansive as a Metroid though, and it does a good job of pointing you in the right direction by making NPCs that give very useful hints when the objective isn't clear. And these NPCs, someone had a field day with them. Okay, bathhouse heals here and... Wait, why? Alright boys, tear down that school. Oh no. And don't even get me started on Branson. This guy's my hero. If you don't find this game hilarious, then you must have no sense of humor. While we're on the topic of this game's style of humor, what in the world is this thing? He doesn't seem to be an enemy and... oh. Well, he's dead now. Different areas are represented by islands and they can be traveled to, and each island has a dungeon. I really like these dungeons because there's always a new tool to find that gives you a sense of progression and growth, but they're also required to complete the dungeon. Think like Legend of Zelda games, where they reward you with a new tool or weapon, and the dungeon is laid out to teach you how to use that new weapon so you know how it's used later down the line. A pistol for long-range attacks, a hat to glide around, charging boots, and all of these feel really useful and fun. You're even incentivized to kill enemies instead of bypass because they occasionally drop healing items and temporary power-ups, as well as money to buy permanent upgrades for your weapons and hair. I felt that overall the difficulty was just right for this game. Some players may struggle with a couple of platforming challenges, but with potions available in bulk and no hard challenge overstaying its welcome, I think gamers of all skill levels can enjoy it. And can we talk about the music for a moment? Jake Kaufman, composer for Shovel Knight, Mighty Switch Force, and many other games, made the music for the Shantae series from the very beginning, and I think that this is some of his best work yet. From bouncy and fun to somber, every area has music that fits the mood perfectly. All of the music used in this review is directly from the game, so if you like what you hear, Shantae has you covered in the music department. Some people may look at this game's retro aesthetics and $15 price tag when not in sale and think it may be a bit much, but I had more than a blast with Shantae during my about 7 or 8 hour playthrough than most $60 releases. It's not all that long, but it doesn't overstay its welcome either, and it has a couple of side objectives that influence the game's ending if you're wanting something more to do. If you're a fan of platformers or even okay with them, I highly recommend this game for anyone looking for something to play, as it's just a great experience. And it's currently available on practically every current gen console, PC, and I guess the Fire TV too. I wanted to review all the Shantae games before Half-Genie Hero came out, but while I was working on this they announced they finished the game and all they need to do is get it to retailers. So maybe I won't be doing that, but I definitely will be doing a review of Half-Genie Hero once it comes out. So until then, this has been BearOnStilts.